It's good smell. Just few days ago, I just retreat for a university student from America. I had a chance to practice English, to have a chance to listen English from the nun, the monk, and all of the participants. I remember that I didn't speak too much, but I still remember some of my words. Hello, my name is Thảo. You can call me Grass. And my favorite food is mango, because there's a mango tree in my home. And the second stage of me feelings. No word can describe my feeling right now. Full of happiness at me. Thank you all. I don't have any wish right now. I feel no. Yesterday evening, one of the most wonderful parents in my life, my heart melt. I think that I didn't speak too much, but it's a good chance for me to improve my English with the statement of the nun, the monk, and all the people there. Very good chance for me, and I feel that I'm full until now. Until now, the memory of that retreat still a good memory of me. And a few last minutes, I just lay on the same and drinking rice, right left, and I think that there's not much wow if in the future I'll be a nun. Yeah. And I think that after the project's finished, I know what I have to do. I keep thinking in our mind that I have few questions that I need to ask my teacher in this process. That the first question is, Thầy ơi, can I go with the timeline like I working for you? Can I go exact with the timeline? And the second one is, Thầy ơi, can I be a nun in one organizations, and I do not have to go anywhere, any different country? Can I? And the third one is, I want to ask you, Thầy ơi, you work with me few years, right? And do you feel that can I go with this path? Can I go forever in this path with no stop? Is this the exact way for me to go? And can I go forever in this path? I think my thầy will reply me the first 2 seconds. Thầy will need to ask someone upper. But the third one is only Thầy will give me a vibe, but it's in me who is the exact one to have a vibe. And because I think that only me I can understand me the most. The 8 realizations and the 11 guidelines for daily living. When I was 17 and in my first year of novice study at the Buddhist monastery in Vietnam, I had to memorize the sutra on the 8 relations of the great being. Over 60 years have passed and I still find it sad to be a thought that have lied my bed. In 1978, I became involved in a project to rescue Vietnamese poor people in the South China Sea. We printed the sutra on the 8 and on the 8 realizations of the great being in a small booklet in Vietnamese to help the survivor. And I found a new home somewhere in the world. Soon we found this sutra to be very helpful for those in the West as well. All of us, whatever our past experience, are struggling to realize full consciousness in our daily lives. The most accessible way to approach the sutra and the 8 realizations of the great beings is to see each of the 8 items discussed as a subject of meditations. In addition, there are 11 guidelines for daily living that can be found in the sutra. Although the form of the sutra is simple, its content is extremely profound and marvelous. This sutra is not analytic tree style or historical artifacts. It's a relative and effective approach to meditation and a guide for our interaction with others. The 4 realizations. The 4 realizations explain and clarify the 4 basic subjects of Buddhist meditation: impermanence, suffering, no self, and impurity. We must always remember and meditate on the 4 principles of reality. As mentioned in the sutra, if someone meditates on the fact she will readily be released from samsara, the realm of birth and death. Impermanence. This refers to the transient nature of all things from moment to moment. All things work, including human life, mountains, rivers, political system, in constant transformations. This is called impermanence in each moment. Everything passes through a period of birth, maturity, transformation, and destruction. This destruction is called impermanence in each cycle. To see the impermanent nature of all things, we must examine this closely. Doing so well will prevent us from being imprisoned by the things of this world. The second is suffering. Suffering had to do with the emptiness of all things. The ancient people of India said that all things are composed of 4 elements: earth, air, water, and fire. And now let this Buddha and Bodhisattva understand that when there are harmonious relationship among the 4 elements, there is peace. When the 4 elements are not in harmony, they are suffering. Because all things are created by a combination of their elements, nothing can exist independently or permanently. All things are impermanent. Consequently, when we are caught up in the things of the world, we suffer from their impermanent nature. And since all things are empty, when we cast by things, we also suffer from their emptiness. Awareness of the existence of suffering leads us to begin to practice the way of realization. This is the first of the 4 noble truths. When we lose awareness of and do not meditate on the existence of suffering in all things, we can easily be boosted around by passions and desire for worldly things. In reason, the joy outlined in the business of this desire only by being aware of suffering can find its cause, confront it directly, and eliminate it. And the third is selflessness. It means no self. Buddhism teaches that human beings are composed of 5 grades called Sangha and Sangras. If the form created by the 4 elements is empty and without self, then the human being is created by the unification of the 5 Sangras. But also be empty and without self. Human beings are involved in a transformation process from the second to second. Minute to minute, continually apparent impermanence in each moment. By looking very deeply into the five center, we can better the selfless nature of our body, our basic birth and death, and emptiness, that is, the joy in the illusions that our body are permanent. In Buddhism, no cell is the most important subject for mediations. By mediating no soul, we can break through the barrier between self and other. When we are no longer as separate from the universe, a completely harmonious existence with the universe is created. We see that all other human beings exist in Earth and that we exist in all the other human beings. We see that the past and the future are contained in the present moment, and we can better and be completely liberated from the circle of birth and death. Modern science has also discovered the truth of the selfless nature of all things. The approach of South African biology and anthropology lies in question, for example, correspond entirely with the principle of dependent origination and ourselves. Scientists who meditate continually on the selfless nature of their body and mind, and where the selfless nature of all things will one day easily attain enlightenment. The four impurity. In terms of the nature of our body and mind, impurity means the absence of an immaculate state of being, one that is neither holy nor beautiful. From the by psychological and physiological standpoint, all human beings are impure. It is not a negative judgment, but an objective perspective on human beings. If we examine the constituents of our body from the hair on our head to the blue, birth, flame, excrement, units, the many bacteria ruling in the intensity, and the many disease present waiting for the opportunity to develop, it seems clear that our body are impure and subject to decay. Our body also creates the motivation to pursue the satisfaction of our desire and passion. That is why the scripture regards the body as a place where misery is gathered. Similarly, the mind is the place where misunderstanding gathers. Since we are able to see the truth of permanent suffering and the selfless nature of all things, our mind often becomes the victim of greed and hate, and we act as if we are individual, isolated beings who will live forever. So the scriptures say, the mind is the source of our confusion. The second realization, more desire brings more sufferings, is the basis of the second realizations. More people define happiness as the satisfaction of all desire. There are 5 types of desire. The desire boundless, but our ability to realize them is not. And unfulfilled desire will create suffering. When desire only but to fulfill, we continue to beside their complete fulfillment, and we create more suffering. Even when a desire is fulfilled, we suffer when its fulfillment terminates. It is only after we become completely exhausted from the insane pursuit that we began to realize the extent to which we were caught in the insatiable net of desire and passion. Then we can realize that true happiness is really the peaceful state of body and mind, and it can only exist when our desire is full, having few desire, not seeking fulfillment through the pursuit of the 5 desire, a great step toward liberation. The third realization, knowing how to feel satisfied with the few possessions, the joy, desire, and greed, it means being content with material conditions that allow us to be healthy and strong enough to practice the way. This is an effective way to cut out the nets of passion and desire. Attain a beautiful state of body and mind, have more time to help others, and be free to rely the hatchet goal, the development of concentration and understanding to attain realizations. Knowing how to feel satisfied with full possession helps us avoid buying unnecessary and become back of an economic system that employs others, and it enables us to decrease our involvement in the pollution of our environment. The 4 realizations, diligent practice, joy, laziness. After we keep looking for joy, desire, and passion, we know how to feel satisfied with few possessions. We must not be lazy, late in day, and must live by neglectfully. Great pattern and diligence are needed continually to develop our concentration and understanding. In the view of self-realization, we must see you all of the time to meditate on the four truths of impermanence, suffering, self and impurity, the four objects of meditation. We must penetrate deeply into the profound meaning of the four establishments of mindfulness, practicing, studying, and meditating on the birth, joy, and cycle, becoming, maturing, transformation, adjustments of our body as well as our feelings, sensation, mental formation, and consciousness. We should research another writing that explain meditation, correct sitting, and controlling the breath, such as the Satipatthana Sutta and the Mahaparamita Sutta. We have to follow the teaching of the Sutra and practice them in an intelligent way, choosing the method that better apply to our situations. And necessary, we can modify the methods suggested in order to accommodate our needs. Our energy must also be regulated until at the basic desire, passion, greed, anger, narrow-minded, arrogant, doubt, and preconceived ideas are unrooted. At the time, we will know that our body and mind are liberated from the imprisonment of birth and death, the five sankha, and the three worlds. The fourth realizations, concentration and understanding the joy narrow mind. Among the basic desire and passion, narrow mind had the deepest root. When the root illusion, all other desire and passion, greed, anger, doubt, and preconceived idea are also unrooted. Now indeed we can make a real effort to meditate on the truth of impermanence, no self, and the dependent origination of all things. One, the rules of ignorance as self, where we can liberate ourselves and teach others to break through the chain of birth and death. The four subject of meditation are to help attain liberation. The next four subject had the aim of helping others attain liberation. The clearly and solidity uniting Theravada and Mahayana Buddhism taught. The seed realization, every person, no matter what they wealth, is equally capable of practice generosity. Some people think that they can practice generosity only if they are wealthy. This isn't true. Some people who are very wealthy do practice generosity, but many only do charity with the aim of gaining merit, profiting, or pleasing others. People who lack security and compassion are seldom rich because they say whatever they have with others. They are not willing to enrich their life financially at the cost of other poverty. Many people misunderstanding the Buddhist present practice generosity to mean casually giving 5 or 10 cents to a beggar on the street if we happen to have it in our pockets. The practice of generosity is more beautiful than that. It is promoting and rank. Practicing generosity means continually acting in a way that will help equal the difference between the wealthy and the impoverished. Whatever we do to either human suffering and create social justice can be considered practice generosity. That is not to say that we must become active in any political system. To engage in partisan political action that lead to a power struggle among opposing party and call that and distortion of what we mean by practice generosity. How can a person practice knowing how to feel satisfied with few possessions also practice generosity? It is by living simply. Almost everyone who spends her life suffering and helping others sacrifice themselves for the sake of humanity. Live simply. If they live their life worried about making money and gain marriage, how can they practice generosity? Mahatma Gandhi lived in a very simple life. Namely, he married helping humanity and saving human beings and were immeasurable. There are thousands of people among us who live very simply, while being very helpful to many others. They do not have great reputation at Gandhi, but they marry no less than he. It is enough for us to be a little more attentive, aware of the depression of people like this. They do not practice generosity by giving money that they do not possess, but rather by giving their time, energy, love, and care the entire life. Practice generosity and a body content means to consider every echo, not to discriminate against everyone. There are cruel person and kind person among the bull and the dictator, just as they among the wealthy when we not include the rude ones from our practice. And the Sutra states, Bodhisattva consider everyone, friend and energy, mind, and life as equal. They do not condemn everyone bad wrongdoing, nor do they hate those who are presently doing harm. They practice the spirit of many Buddhism, poverty, great anger, hate, and work wrongdoing. If we teach body philosophy through lecture, but do not practice generosity to eat the suffering of others, we have not yet attained the ascent of Buddhism. We should practice generosity with compassion and not stand without discriminating against people who, because they are both poverty, have caused anger and hate. The 7 realizations. While living in society, we should not be defined by it. We must live by harmony with society in order to help others. Without being carried by the fine desire, living like the lotus flower that bloom in the mud and yet remain the bull and understand. Practicing the way of liberation does not mean avoiding society, but helping in it. Before our capacity to help becomes strong and solid, we may define by living in society. For this reason, Bodhisattva meditate on the nature of the fine desire and fully decide to live simply in order to practice generosity without discrimination. The living in society and not being stand by is to practice the Sigma Paramita. Paramita means to help others reach the sharp liberation from sickness, body, hunger, and desire, passion, and birth and the death. The Six Paramita are given a serving the precept using diligence, effort, endurance, consideration, and understanding. The 8 realizations. We should create in ourselves a firm decision to help others. We must make a deep and solemn vow to overcome the difficulty, danger, and suffering that may occur while helping others. Since the suffering in society is limitless, the willingness and the devotion to practice the way of helping others must also be limited. Third, the Mahayana spirit is an endless source of energy that inspires to practice generosity without discrimination. With the Mahayana spirit, we can withstand the many challenges and humiliation encountered in society and are able to continue to practice the way. This will bring great happiness to others. 11 guidelines for daily life. The Mahayana Buddhist practice of the 6 Paramita is inspired by this sutra. The sutra and the 8 realizations of the right being is a great result for meditation, but it is not intended for to simply meditate on the sutra and then to continue living our life before. To fully benefit from the sutra, we must show practice and must show in teaching. Here are 11 guidelines for daily life based on the insight found in the sutra. The first, while meditating on the body, do not hope or pray to be saved from sickness. Without sickness, desire and passion can easily arise. The second, while acting in society, do not hope or pray not to have any difficulty. Without difficulty, arrogance can easily arise. The third one, while meditating on the mind, do not hope or pray not to encounter hindrance. Without hindrance, present knowledge will not be challenged or broadened. The fourth, while working, do not hope or pray not to encounter obstacles. Without obstacles, the vow to help others will not deepen. The fifth, while developing a plan, do not hope or pray to achieve success easily. With easy success, arrogance can easily arise. The sixth, while interacting with others, do not hope or pray to gain personal profit. With the hope for personal gain, the spiritual nature of the encounter is diminished. The seventh, while speaking with others, do not hope or pray not to be disagreed with. Without disagreement, self-righteousness can flourish. The eighth, while helping others, do not hope or pray to be bad. With the hope or remuneration, the act of helping others will not be poor. The ninth, if you see big personal profits in an action, do not participate in this. Even minimal participation will still be sign passion. The 10th, when wrongly accused, do not attempt to exonerate yourself, attempting to defend yourself with great needless anger and animosity. The 11th, the Buddha's ball, Sydney superior effective medicine, time of difficulty and its accident, and also time of freedom and due realization. Obstacle can be a form of liberation. The Buddha reminded us that an army of evil can be the guide of the Dharma. Difficulty are required for the success. With a person who mistreats one can be one good friend. One enemy are an occur of the garden. The act of doing someone in favor can be a bite at the end of cutting away a path of truth. The abandonment of material possession can be well and being wrongly accused, and we can be the soul and strength to work for justice. The Sutra of Happiness. I heard the work of the Buddha one time when the Lord was living in the vicinity of Southeast Asia and Nababindika monastery in the Jeta Road. Late at night, there appeared whose light and beauty make the whole wretched robe shine radiantly. After paying respect to the Buddha, the devil asked him a question in the form of a verse. Many gods and men are eager to know what are the creative blessings which bring about a beautiful and happy life. Please Tathagata, will you teach them? This is the Buddha answer, not to be associated with the foolish one, to live in the company of wise people, honoring their own work, honoring. This is the greatest happiness. To live in a good environment, to have plenty good seeds, and to rely that you are on the right path, this is the greatest happiness. To have chance to learn and grow, to be skillful in your profession or craft, practicing the preserve and loving speech, this is the greatest happiness. To be able to serve and support your parents, to carry your own family, to have a vocation that brings you joy, this is the greatest happiness. To live honestly, generously in giving, to offer support to relatives and friends, living a life of blameless conduct, this is the greatest happiness. To avoid unwholesome action, not caused by alcoholics or lust, and to be diligent in doing good things, this is the greatest happiness. To be humble and polite in manner, to be grateful and content with simple life, not missing the occasion to learn the Dharma, this is the great happiness. To serve and to be open to change, to have regular contact with monks and nuns, and to fully participate in Dharma discussion, this is the greatest happiness. To live diligently and attentively, to receive the noble truth and to realize Nirvana, this is the great happiness. To live in the world with your heart undisturbed by the world, with all sorrow and the duty in bed, this is the greatest happiness. For the one who accomplishes this is infinitely wherever she goes, always safe and happy. Happiness lives within oneself. The wisdom of the middle way. The morning of the Buddha enlightenment at the foot of the Bodhi tree, he was so surprised. He had been meditating for the whole night. In the early morning, at the moment when he saw the morning star, he declared how strange. Everyone had come the capacity to be acquainted, to understand, and to love. Yet they continued to reap and sing on the ocean of suffering night and after. Before he became the Buddha, the awakening one, Prince Siddhartha had a strong will to success. He tried to use mind to separate his mind and body, put himself through a period of practicing self-mortification and change activity in which he almost died. Eventually, it said that forcing his body and mind, the practice wouldn't help him, so he adopted the middle way, a way between authority and indulgence in sensual pleasure. Soon after Siddhartha woke up and became the Buddha, he wanted to say that he had learned. His first Dharma talk was offered to the 5 co-practitioners who had practiced and asceticism with him. He said, my brother, that you change that person on the bed should void, one to eat to endure in sensual pleasure, and the other to practice utterly that deprive the body of its nest. Both of the attempt to follow the bed, I had recovered the middle way where avoid both attempt and had the capacity to let one to understand it. Liberation and peace, it is the noble informed bed of the right view, right talk, right speech, right action, right lip, right hook, right effort, right mindfulness, and right concentration. I have followed it of effort, white bed, and had relied understanding, liberation, and peace. Brother, why do we call it bed the right bed? I call it the right bed because it does not avoid ordinary suffering, but allow for the direct confrontation without suffering. At the mean to outcome is the noble way for bed is the bed of living in awareness. From his very further talk, the Buddha spoke about the middle way, the Four Noble Truths, and the no eightfold bed. He continued to teach on this subject throughout his life. When the Buddha appeared in the world, he was a great revolutionary. He taught that everything of impermanent and subject to change, and that we call self or self nature, that doesn't exist. The Buddha teaching of no self were in their direct contradiction to the philosophy and religion prevalent in India at the time, and in China the strong lesson. Hinduism believed that he about had a divine self man, then when in an original in the back of great divine self. When the Buddha was still alive, his teaching was clear and powerfully. After the Buddha died, the Buddha discipline had to develop the own teaching to the continued opposition from Hinduism. Sometimes they brought up new theory that were far from the original teaching of the Buddha. There was a movement for Hindu scholars and scholars from the various school of Buddhism contradicting and challenging each other. In the 2nd century, the Buddhist scholar Nagarjuna brought the Mega Sage, a commentary of the Buddha teaching the middle way in an effort to return to and to clarify the Buddha's original meaning. The Sutra and the middle way contain the Kaibo's concept of right view, keeping an open mind and avoiding verbality and duality, and debate co-arising the interdependent, mutually creative nature of all things. The Sutra used the term right view to mean a view that transforms into duality thinking in a caring worldly view based on the surface appearance of things affected. In the Dhamma Sutra, the Buddha talked about the four notions that affect our view and perception. There are four notions need to be rolled away. The four notions we need to roll away the notion of self. There is an idea that I am this body me, the body and mind belong to me. We study things based on the new notion that I am, but a better statement would be I am. In the lower to a student, the line of interconnectedness, we see there are no separate self that can exist by itself. You cannot exist without your body. You are your center, food, water, air, earth, and everything else in the cosmos. By looking deeply into the nature of reality, we can look why the notion I am. The second notion of the Dhamma Sutra via to require the notion of person or human being. When we look into the human being, we see animal ancestor, we see plant and mineral ancestor. A human is made of non-human element. If we take away the non-human element, the human being would no longer be there. This is the only teaching on deep ecology. In order to protect the human being, you have to protect what is not human. The humanity between human and nature is wrong with you. The third wrong notion is that of living being. We did Greece, living being from non-living being. We didn't get human and animal from a plant and mineral. But looking deeply into living being, we see elements that we call non-living being, plant and mineral. You can see that plant and mineral are so alive. After mediation, we see there are no real frontiers separating living being and so-called non-living being. The fourth notion to be ruled by the notion of lifespan. We believe that we were born at born of time, that we should die at another born time, and that in between our lifespan, most of us believe we spend 70, 80, 90, 100 years on the planet and then we be gone. But when we look deeply, we see that our wrong perception. In our mind, to be born means that from nothing we become something. To die means that from something we become nothing, and from someone we become no one. But a cloud can be born. It had come from the water and the river and the ocean. And the others and the hill of the sun have held it created. A cloud can never die. It can only become rain or snow. A piece of paper can be born. It's made of trees, sun, a cloud, the water, and the worker in the paper factory. When we burn a piece of paper, the paper is transformed into hot, air, and smoke. It cannot be reduced to nothingness. But other than notion, and that cannot be applied to reality. Therefore, notion at the foundation of our faith, it remains supreme. When we are able to see that wrong, strong view, and our own supreme will no longer attack us. We no longer suffer because our wrong view. When we count the idea of self, human being, living being, or lifespan, it's because we haven't been able to see the dependent cause. When we are caught in the idea of lifespan, we think my life will only last a certain amount of time, and we start asking questions like, did I sit in the bed? What were I in the bed when we die? Will I still be there? And if I am, what will I be? They recently arrived when we caught in the idea of ourselves, human being, living being, as lifespan. The Sanskrit Pratitya Samuppada means independent hindrance. Pratitya Samuppada is something called a teaching of cause and effect, but that can be misleading because we usually think of cause and effect as separate entity. We call one presenting effect and one cause leads into one effect. According to the teaching of the dependent cause, rising cause and effect are right together. Samuppada and everything is a result of a multiple cause and condition. For example, to exist, we need wood, a carpenter, time, skillfulness, and many other causes. And they call it to the other cause in order to be. The wood needs to the forest, the sunshine, the rain, and so on. The carpenter needs his parents, breakfast, fresh air, and so on. And each of the things in turn had to be brought about by other conditions. If we continue to look in this way, we see that nothing had been left out. Everything in the common had come together to bring out the table. Looking deeply in the sunshine, the living tree, and the cloud, we can see the table. The one who can be seen in the on, and the on can be seen in the one. One cause is never enough to bring about an effect. A cow must at the same time be an effect, and every effect must also be the cause of something else. Cause and effect inter they give right to each other. The idea of a foot of a single cause, something that not itself needs the call, cannot be applied. Our difficulty arises when we forget the teaching and become attached to idea and to things we live in, that they are independent and permanent. When we embrace the interdependence nature of a thing for second or a time, we will be in the back of a more beautiful and joyful system. Yet I just finished the middle way chapter of this book. I will continue later. Today, good day. It's sunny outside, and I feel that I can go in that way after the project finish. I don't know that I will be successful or not, but I think that I will have a true happiness on that way. Thank you, everyone, for listening to me. Bye bye, and with you a happy new week. Bye bye.